Jnananjana Sulakaya Chakshotalitamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Move forward.
Krishna gives instructions. In Bhagavad Gita, most of you know, Krishna concludes by saying, you give up all conceptions of what you think is Dharma and just surrender to me. That may seem very difficult, but we have an advantage. You see, Krishna gives the instructions, which are like a sharp sword. Those instructions from Krishna can cut the knot of material entanglement. And it is material entanglement that's causing all our problems. But how do we have the capacity to handle Krishna's instructions? How do we have the necessary ability to carry out Krishna's instructions? This is why Lord Balarama is so important. Bala means spiritual strength, not material strength. Balaram gives the strength to carry out Krishna's instructions. This is very important because you may be in anxiety. Oh, I know what Krishna says, but how will I ever apply it? I just don't have it in me. I am weak. On Balaram's appearance day, you can pray to Lord Balaram for the strength to carry out Krishna's instructions. There is practically no difference between Krishna and Balaram. They're that close. Krishna is Shyam Sundar, the color of a beautiful dark rain cloud. And Balaram is whitish. Krishna likes to wear yellow dhoti, Balaram wears blue. That's practically the main difference. They're so close. Balaram has his pastimes, which sometimes show a difference with Krishna. Unity in diversity. You see that after Balaram dispatched Romaharshan. A most unusual situation. Balaram had left where the Pandavas and Kauravas had just about begun the battle of Kurukshetra. He left and went on tour of pilgrimage sites. So he arrived at Naimisharanya. How many of you here have been to Naimisharanya? Yes, it still exists today. So Balaram arrived, and there was a great gathering meant to go on for thousands of years. That may seem astonishing to you. Why would sadhus gather for thousands of years? What do they have to do? What is so important? They're discussing spiritual science, which is endless. They had elected Romaharsana as the chief speaker, the representative of Vyasadeva. Indeed, Romaharsana was a disciple of Vyasadeva, the literary incarnation of Godhead. He was speaking, expounding. He had studied all the Vedic literatures. He was erudite. But evidently there was a big defect, which was revealed upon the arrival of Sri Baladev. Lord Balaram happened in on to the gathering. Everyone stood up, offered their respects Everyone except Roma Harshan. Roma Harshan was thinking, I'm on the Vyasa-san, I'm speaking, I don't have to show any greeting to someone who enters while I'm speaking. Bear in mind that Balarama is no ordinary person, therefore the ordinary etiquette does not apply. Everyone else knew that. All the sages in the audience knew that. They stood up, welcomed Balarama, offering their respects, but not Roma Harshan. So this event caused Lord Balaram to start thinking about the material background of Roma Harshan. We're not the body, but Roma Harshan was acting like he's the body. Roma Harshan was thinking, I am of a higher caste than Balaram. Balaram is a Kshatriya. I am a Brahmana. Bodyism, casteism. Seems to always be a factor. There was something else going on too that the acharyas reveal in their commentary. Roma Harshan was actually seated on a hugely high Vyasa-san, high above Balaram. So Balaram took that into account also. So Balaram began to consider, wait a minute, he's not a pure Brahmana. One of his parents is a Kshatriya. The other parents are Brahmana. So if he wants to get material about who's the higher caste, he's the last person who should be doing that. How can he hold himself, materially speaking, above all these great sages in the audience, who, if you want to look at things materially, they're full Brahmanas, whereas Roma Harshan is mixed. He's a mixed parentage. Again, Balarama is thinking, you want to be material? Okay, let's get material. Let me point out the realities here. So Balaram began to consider his mission statement. I'm in this world in order to vanquish adharma, vanquish irreligiosity. And here we have a prime example of adharma, irreligion. This Roma Harshana is masquerading. He's supposed to be a disciple of Vyasadeva, but he refuses to recognize the conclusion of all the Vedas. He studied all the Vedas, but what's the use? He doesn't know. Vedaishta sarvara Vedas, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. I am the conclusion of the Vedas. Roma Harshana missed the boat, so to speak, completely. And Balaram considered this to be a very serious offense, particularly because it was done in public in such a huge gathering, and you have such a demonstration of irreligiosity. So after thinking all of this way, Balaram decided to take action. He just picked up a piece of kusha grass. Kusha grass, you know, is what is used in yajnas, sacrificial ceremonies, to make the mats that the yajna priests sit on. Balaram just picked up a piece of kusha grass and touched it to Roma Harshana, and that was the end of Roma Harshana. So what happened next? All the sadhus let out a cry. Oh, Balaram, what have you done? They knew Balaram is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so why are they upset? They are simply doing that to set an example for the ordinary person. They explain, Balaram, we know you're the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but this man is a Brahmana. You killed a Brahmana. Moreover, we gave him such great benedictions. We promised him to live for thousands of years, at least until the end of this convocation, this gathering, which is supposed to last for thousands of years. We gave him the blessings of full vitality, full health, full strength. So you've not only killed him, but you've gone against our benedictions. What is to be done? Balarama immediately replied, if you like, I can bring him back to life with more strength and vitality than what he had before. I can do that. Tell me whatever you want. I can do whatever you want. This is Balarama showing how the Kshatriyas are supposed to take advice from the Brahmanas. He put himself forward as, you tell me. Whatever you say, I don't know. You are the Brahmanas. So the Brahmanas told him, no, we don't want you to counteract what you've done, because whatever you've done is perfect. So we don't want you to bring him back to life. At the same time, bear in mind, we gave him a benediction that he would have long life of vitality. So what to do here? Balaram began to think about the puzzle. I killed him. I can bring him back to life, but the Brahmanas say no. At the same time, the Brahmanas have reminded me that this man has a benediction to live for thousands of years so he can expound upon the Vedas. Here is what I'll do. Bring Romaharshana Sutta, Lugastrava, bring his son. Because the Shastra says that the son carries on with the life of the father. In other words, the father lives through the son. So bring his son, Lugastrava, and apply your benedictions to him, and everything can proceed. Furthermore, tell me what else I can do. Balaram is hinting. I know you're self-satisfied Brahmanas, but I want to do something for you. Come up with something. Say something. What do you want? The Brahmanas understood that, yes, Balaram is setting the example for the ordinary person. He knows our concern, that if the ordinary person sees how a Brahmana is terminated so easily, that's not very good. So therefore, they're very happy that Balaram's adjusting the situation while having done the necessary. So they made a presentation to Balaram. All right, you're asking us what more you can do for us. There is one odious, disgusting demon, asura named Volvala. He, whenever there's a full moon or a dark moon, he comes. And before he appears, a foul wind blows, smelling horribly of pus. And then Volvala appears himself. And he showers upon our yajna site stool, urine, pus, blood, meat, and wine, polluting everyone and everything. Can you please, Balaram, do something about this? Balaram agreed. So, sure enough, the next time there was a full moon or a dark moon, right on schedule, Volvala appears. And before you see Volvala, you feel that nasty wind filled with such horrible smells. And then Volvala makes himself visible. He's there when the wind's blowing, but you can't see him. He has that mystic power. And he makes himself visible while throwing all kinds of horrible things on the yajna stall, the site of the yajna. So what does Balaram do? Volvala can fly through the air as he's showering all this blood, stool, pus, urine, and meat and wine onto the yajna. Balaram is carrying his plow. He has a two-step approach to terminating Volvala. How does he do it? Step number one, with the tip of his plow, he yanks Volvala out of the air. And as Volvala is coming down from flying in the air, he's being dragged down by Balaram's plow. Balaram then takes his club, his other weapon, and cracks Bola's head. So Bola makes a horrible sound of death, and that's the end of him. So the Brahmanas are very pleased. The Brahmanas at Naimisaranya, they offer Balaram and his wife a ceremonial bath. He's there with his wife, Revati. And they ask Balaram that you please go on pilgrimage to purify yourself. Not that you need purification because you are the supreme pure, but you go on pilgrimage to set the example. So Balaram went on tour of the holy places, the tirthas, still famous in India today. He saw many classic deities, bathed in many classic rivers of holy rivers. He met the greatest personalities. Of course, who was greater than Lord Balaram? But he met Lord Parashuram. He met Agastya Muni. And the Bhagavatam and the Krishna book say that whether in the deity form or in person, but what's the difference? He met Durga, Shiva, Kartikeya. He even went to Ganga Sagar, the mouth of the Ganga. And what tirtha is near Ganga Sagar? Jagannath Puri. So Balaram considered going to see Lord Jagannath in Puri, the Acharyas say. Jiva Goswami says that. Sanatana Goswami says it also. But why didn't Balaram drop in to see Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra? Number one, the Acharyas say, he knew. My brother Krishna has appeared in his original form, and with him are all the avatars, all the incarnations. So why do I need to go to see Lord Jagannath? Number two, I'm there with Jagannath. That's Baladev. It would look very strange me going to offer obeisances to myself. So he gave it a miss. So he gets back to the area of Naimisaranya in North India, and he hears through the grapevine, through the Brahmana grapevine, that the Kurukshetra war is practically over and that everyone is dead. Practically everyone is dead. A few survivors like the Pandavas. Balaram thought to himself about that and said, this is proper. This is relieving the burden of the earth. So he arrived back in the area of Kurukshetra during the final last moments. The huge armies on both sides had been annihilated. They had killed each other. But Bhima and Duryodhana were still fighting. They were prancing around as if dancing. They were so like ballet warriors. They were so expert at what they were doing. So Balaram enters upon that scene. Lord Krishna is there. Yudhisthira Maharaj is there. The Arjuna. They're watching. Uh-oh, here's Balaram showing up at this moment. We know he's partial to Duryodhana. In fact, he taught Duryodhana how to fight with the club. Is Balaram going to say something to try to influence the situation, or will he be quiet? So what did Balaram do? He started lecturing Bhima and Duryodhana. He said, Bhima, you are unsurpassable in your physical strength. Duryodhana, you are unsurpassable in your skill with the club. I taught you, I know. Neither of you is going to win. You're evenly matched. One is stronger, the other has better club fighting technique. I urge you both, stop it. What was the response? Bhima and Duryodhana couldn't get out of their mind the insults of the other. I remember you said this, I remember you did that, you insulted me. Sometimes our own devotees get like that, you know. Bhima and Duryodhana could not get over it. They couldn't get over the insults they had hurled upon each other. And so they disregarded Balarama. So what was Balaram's conclusion? This is destiny. This is actually, when he says this is destiny, he means this is what my brother wants. All right, I'm out of here. What's going to happen is going to happen. So it seemed that Krishna and Balaram had a disagreement about how to handle Duryodhana. But actually, there is unity in the diversity. The Acharyas explain that by Balaram favoring Duryodhana, Duryodhana became more proud. And as we say, the bigger they come, the harder they fall. So because Duryodhana became more proud, he became a much bigger target. He was much easier. It was much easier to recognize that he's got a massive problem. In other words, Balaram, by seemingly being favorable to Duryodhana, kind of highlighted the situation. This man's got a problem. I just said some nice words to him. I taught him how to fight in the club, and now he thinks he's the greatest. So actually, there was unity in purpose. So these are just a tiny drop of the Leelas of Lord Balaram, which are unlimited. Shukadeva Swami tells us at the end of that chapter in the 10th canto. Balaram's pastimes are unlimited, and anyone who hears this pastime of his dealing with Balbala, his dealing with Romaharshana, his dealing with pilgrimage tour, anyone who hears that in the morning and now in the evening becomes blessed. Thank you very much.